Today, we'd like to send you a free gold election kit to help you decide if this is right for you. Call 606-800-8000. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
Welcome in. Ready to start a Wednesday post-election edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Thanks for joining us. American history doesn't always give us a warning that it's going to happen. Typically, it creeps up on us, and often when it creeps up on us, it is something bad. Attack on Pearl Harbor, attack on the Twin Towers, an assassination attempt, something of that sort. Last night was American history of a different sort, but American history nonetheless, with Donald Trump winning a convincing victory in the election for the 47th president of the United States. He will return to the White House. He become just the second president ever to do that, and the first one in over 100 years. Grover Cleveland was the other. And first and foremost, I'm extremely happy, in fact, never more happy to be as sleep deprived as I am, running on adrenaline and running on hope that maybe we've reached a point where the politics of division, where lying about political opponents, where persecuting and prosecuting political opponents, maybe now with Donald Trump's return to the White House, the Democratic Party that is engaged in all those things I just mentioned, maybe they will finally learn a hard lesson. They didn't learn it in 2016. They thought that they had gotten rid of Donald Trump in 2020, but he proved to be tougher and more resilient than their most duplicitous plans and scheming to get rid of him. It is perhaps best indicative of how America refused to swallow all the things they have been told and all the things that have been done to Donald Trump. That in the Bronx, New York, yesterday, Donald Trump got 27% of the vote. Now you might say, well, that's not very much. He lost. In 2020, he got 16% of the vote. What do we know about New York City? We know that it is almost exclusively Democrat. Donald Trump increased his share of the vote in the Bronx, New York by 9%. In New York City, where they changed laws to prosecute him, where they picked judges outside of the regular assignment process of judges, where Letitia James and Alvin Bragg magnified and exaggerated acts by Donald Trump in the past into attempts to completely remove him from consideration for the presidency. And not just in the Bronx, but in every New York borough, with all of that going on in one of the most Democratic-laden enclaves in the country, Donald Trump increased his share of the vote in every single borough. In Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan. America finally got enough of the lies, of the exaggerations, of the prosecutions. And so that is why I am happy. I am happy to say perhaps the Democratic Party can learn its lesson. Perhaps, as Scott Jennings said last night on CNN, all of the things that the Democratic Party has engaged in over the last decade with Donald Trump, maybe we're finally at an end. Maybe, unless they want to eat this kind of result again in 4 years, maybe we'll finally have had enough of intersectionality, of being lectured that if you're born a certain ethnicity, if you are of a certain immutable characteristic, you must vote this way or you are disloyal to some voting bloc. Perhaps the Democrats will realize that it is okay to think independent of the labels they place on you. So I'm extremely happy about the results, but I'm going to try to do my part not to excessively gloat. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be very, very happy. And this is the most important thing I can say, is that it is incumbent upon all of us who prayed about this election. And I didn't pray for a result. I prayed for peace. It is incumbent upon all of us to continue to do that, because the next 10 weeks in the United States of America have the potential to be extremely bad, not just nationally, but internationally. And so that's where I sit this morning with Donald Trump, the president-elect of the United States, thus bringing about the greatest comeback in American political history. They used to call Bill Clinton the comeback kid. What Bill Clinton came back from in the middle of his first term to win a second term is minor league compared to what Donald Trump has come back from. January 6th, the Russia collusion hoax, COVID, the pandemic being blamed for the American economy destructing because Democrats insisted that he shut everything down and denied him his idea to reopen the economy by Easter of 2020. From the prosecutions, Fani Willis, Jack Smith, Juan Marchand, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Arthur Engeron, all the names you've come to know, all the people who tried to take Donald Trump out, the shooter in Butler, the guy camped at the fence at Mar-a-Lago, all of them tried to take him out. And he stands today, as he stood when he rose from the stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, then with his fist literally clenched, today with his fist figuratively clenched, telling us all to fight, not each other, but to fight for our republic, to fight for our country, to fight for the foundations that make us and have made us a great country. But we need to be made great again. And Donald Trump gets a second bite of the apple because most of America wants him in the White House. Not just the Electoral College, but most of America. As I talk to you right now, he is up 5 million votes in the popular vote. Do you know how big that is? The three most populous states in the United States are Texas, New York, and California. New York and California broke heavily for Kamala Harris. Nonetheless, Donald Trump is winning and likely will win the popular vote unless California, which is going to take like a month to certify its election, decides that that's just something they can't abide. And so they're going to cook the vote totals so Donald Trump can't have the victory in the popular vote. But he won the election last night convincingly. As we sit here at this moment, he has won North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, 4 of the 7 swing states. He is leading in Nevada, Michigan, and Arizona. He, it appears, ran the table. All 7 swing states by margins that, once again, for the 3rd time running for president, he has confounded the pollsters. He has confounded the political elite. He has risen from the ashes politically. And he returns to the White House, someplace that he certainly doesn't need to go. He's not a career politician like Kamala Harris, like Joe Biden. And so it's just, it's historic. It is absolutely, positively historic. I don't know if you're a Democrat, maybe you can't bring yourself to say that, but with the failures of the Republicans to capitalize on the first 2 years of ineptitude of the Biden administration, the catastrophic Afghanistan withdrawal, which embarrassed us throughout the world, with inflation soaring to unprecedented levels, we could not win a midterm election without Donald Trump on the ballot. But when he returned to the ballot last night, it appears, again, this is contingent on California, it appears that the Republicans will have control of the House. Right now, they flipped 3 Democratic seats to the Republican side, enlarging their, yes, narrow majority, but enlarging it. No seats held by Republicans have yet been flipped to Democrats. Enlarging, or really overtaking, Democrats in the Senate. Yes, Bernie Moreno wins in Ohio. Maybe Sherrod Brown can say hi to Jack Smith in the unemployment line. Right now, Republicans 52-43, and it looks good for Sam Brown, and it looks good for some other Republican Senate candidates. And so the magic of having Donald Trump on the ballot, Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, Bernie Moreno in Ohio, Sam Brown in Nevada, Eric Hobby in Wisconsin, all of them could win, and none of them would have won without Donald Trump on the ballot, because America wants America to be made great again. And they are entrusting Donald Trump with the job of doing that. Because the first time he tried it, he did a pretty good job of it.
Cloudy warm this afternoon. Thunderstorm around the area. Look for a high of 71. Partly cloudy tonight, low 51. Sunny, pleasant, less humidity tomorrow, the high 64. Partly cloudy, cooler tomorrow night, low 39. Sunny, pleasant day Friday, the high at 64. Some sunny cloudiness on Saturday.
Aren't the Democrats still down like 20 million votes from last election?
On Sunday,
I don't know what you mean.
at 65.
Like, they have 20 million less votes for the Democratic
Oh.
candidate than they did last.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a total joke. I mean, that vote total was completely concocted. There's a graph that I put out on Twitter, and I'll refer to it. Thanks for reminding me of that.
And that was a year that it should have been a lower turnout than normal.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but they crafted the rules so it wouldn't be.
Yeah, well, now we know for sure.
Right.
20.
Yeah, I know.
And I've seen people on social media say, well, see, look, they had 20 million votes just disappear. This is clearly fraud by the Republicans.
No, can you agree?
How about the last election was the outlier, not this one.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
They
right.
just refused to see the truth.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, man.
7 days a week. 614-756-3140. You win with ProView Remodeling. 614-756-3140. Check us out at ProViewRemodeling.com.
The Christmas Mortgage Miracle is back. For 7 years, 98.9 FM The Answer and the Christmas Mortgage Miracle has made it possible to win next year's mortgage or rent. This year, the grand prize is $18,000. Increase your opportunity to win by entering up to once per day and complete optional bonus tests and even more chances to win. Receive this blessing for 2025 with the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Sweepstakes. Enter to win today at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary. Limited time left. Are you ready to seize a unique investment opportunity that could save you in taxes for 2024 and help you secure your financial future? Goldman Sachs predicts oil to remain in the $70 to $100 range. So why not invest in the uptrend now? That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment.
Where's
If you are an
Wisconsin
SEC-accredited investor
Senate?
with at least $100,000 in liquid assets, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's exclusive projects and a significant tax write-off for 2024. But hurry, there's limited time left this year to benefit from the incredible tax incentive. Imagine nearly 100% of your investment being deductible for 2024. Don't miss out on this limited time opportunity to create monthly income for up to 20 or more years to come. Call 800-278-7455 now and connect to a knowledgeable Encore Energy representative. Encore is a major investor and experienced operator in its core area of operations. Call Encore Energy now at 800-278-7455. That's 800-278-7455.
If you're a business owner and a listener to this station, you might not realize that the conservative news and talk content that you enjoy is advertiser supported. Our loyal audience loves to do business with the advertisers who make our programming possible. Now, it probably won't surprise you, but there are some advertisers who avoid us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our listeners are eager to support advertisers who support our conservative programming. Join the successful companies who reach customers who care about this programming. Become a part of making a difference in the lives of people who listen and who are passionate about supporting the great family of advertisers who are part of this station. It's truly a perfect match for you and for them.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
If you need new flooring, I'd love to help you with it. Go to brucehooley.com and click flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. I am measuring a space this afternoon for someone who has a condo over on the north side of town. I'd love to help you out. We have all the major name brands, and we install it faster and will save you money. That's a pretty good pitch, but it's absolutely 100% true. Be happy to put you in touch with previous customers who I have dealt with and who I have helped. The bonus of helping you with your flooring projects, whether it's carpet, whether it is luxury vinyl plank flooring that looks like wood, it is more durable and certainly won't scratch and won't have issues with water. That's why it's perfect for laundry rooms, kitchens, or bathrooms. The added bonus is I get to meet you and we get to talk about things besides flooring. So if you're looking for flooring and you want to get it in before the holidays, we can do it. Did I mention we install faster than the big box stores? Oh, if I didn't, well, now I did. BruceHooley.com, flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. So I stayed up until Trump spoke last night. 3:30, got to bed. Was wide awake at 5:30, running on adrenaline. Thank you so much, Lord, for giving America another chance to recapture its devotion to you, for not allowing the lies that have resonated throughout this campaign to be something that people buy into. Perhaps we are at a point where we can start treating each other as people again, not as, oh, well, you're black, so you vote this way, or oh, so you're a woman, so you're pro-abortion. Like we can evaluate each other individually, and we can have conversations individually. This is a point that Scott Jennings on CNN made last night. I think it is dead on the money.
I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids. And they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives.
Absolutely right. That is absolutely right. How often were we lectured to by the Biden-Harris administration that no, the economy's great. And we know prices are up at the gas pump and prices are up at the grocery store, but really you just don't understand how great the economy is. Your wages are down, your costs are up, your rent is up, your electric bills are up. Everything is up except apparently your ability to keep up with what a great job we're doing. People got tired of that. People of all races got tired of that. That is why in post-election assessment, Donald Trump got more support, 2 points from women, more support. This is in relation to 2020. He got 2 points more support from women. Still had a gender gap, but he got 2 points more support from women. He got 3 points greater support from men. 6 points greater support from non-college educated voters, a 6-point bump from Hispanics, a 7-point bump from blacks, and a plus 10 bump from young voters, 40% of whom said the economy was their number one issue. Crazy kids, what do you want to buy a house or something? What's wrong with you? Now, the dominoes started to fall nationally right here in the state of Ohio when Bernie Moreno was called the winner of the Senate race against Sherrod Brown. Bernie Moreno, who joined us on Monday, made his final pitch to you. I don't think he really needed to make it because most of you were already in Bernie's camp. But he sounds the same theme as Scott Jennings last night. Here's a snippet from Bernie Moreno's acceptance speech here in Columbus.
We're tired of being treated like second-class citizens in our own country. We're tired of leaders that think we're garbage and we're tired of being treated like garbage. You know, my opponent talked a lot about helping the working man, and I will agree with him on the need to help working Americans. But the difference is talk without action is nothing.
Yeah, and you see in the Mahoning Valley where Brown used to clean up, you see the fact that Brown lost big support in the Mahoning Valley and in Trumbull counties. Moreno improved upon Republican numbers in rural areas from 2022. Because those are the kinds of folks, they're hardworking folks who look at a Bernie Moreno and say, you know what, that guy built a business. He must be pretty smart. If we ran the American government and the American economy like a business, maybe things would be better. Maybe it wouldn't be like $30+ trillion in debt. So Sherrod Brown is retired. He's gone. As I said, maybe he'll run into Jack Smith at the unemployment office. And maybe he'll run into Kamala Harris. Because here's just, this is not like a personal vendetta against her. Where does she go from here? Like, there's no greater sin in the Democratic Party than losing to Donald Trump, right? She lost to Donald Trump. She didn't have the profile of a Hillary Clinton, who's still welcomed in Democratic circles. Hillary Clinton is at least articulate and eloquent. Stuff she says is crazy, but at least she doesn't have to read it off a teleprompter. My wife went to bed early last night, and when I mentioned to her this morning that Kamala Harris hadn't conceded yet, hadn't spoken publicly, my wife said what is inarguably true. She said, well, she can't speak off the cuff. So, of course, she's not going to come out last night and react to her loss. And that's 100% true. The other part of it is they never thought she'd lose. They had nothing prepared for her to read. They had no concession speech. And so she's invisible today. We've heard reports she might come out and speak at 4:30. We've heard reports she might come out and speak at 6 o'clock tonight. Oh, it's easy to bellyache about Trump not accepting the results of an election until you get election results you don't want to accept. But really, where does she go? What does she do? What's her next move? Does she run for national office again? Is she a player in 2028? Come on. Come on. That's a Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro death match that starts today. Okay? Is she going to do a podcast? Kamala Harris is going to do a podcast? Word salad with Kamala Harris? Is that her next move? Who would listen to that? Is she going to get a show on MSNBC? Who would watch that? Okay, so I don't know where she goes from here. I'm sure she'll go to some, Democratic think tank or whatever, but as a voice in American politics, she failed up as far as she could possibly go. She didn't get a single vote the first time she ran, and she didn't get a single vote in any primary this time because they didn't put her in the primaries. They anointed her, and now they have to, blame people for being racist, sexist, because she didn't get elected, rather than turn around, look at themselves and go, you know what? We jammed her into the process, and we ignored the fact that she's not likable, she's not intelligent, she's not eloquent, she has no ideas. We ignored all that, thinking that we could simply say, orange man bad. But like Hillary, Kamala Harris ran into an impenetrable orange ceiling. And both of them lost to Donald Trump, which is the worst fate any Democrat could suffer.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. A Trump rally on Wall Street. The key indices are sharply higher following former President Trump's defeat of Kamala Harris in the presidential race. Traditional energy stocks are surging. Renewables have been fading. Mr. Trump's lengthy to-do list includes recapturing energy independence, securing the border, and reviving the economy, putting the nation's fiscal house in order. For the first time in about 4 years, there will be a Republican majority in the Senate, while control of the House remains up in the air. Republicans do hope to expand their slim majority in the House. Florida, Nebraska, and South Dakota voters rejecting pro-abortion ballot measures. In Florida, a ban on abortion after the first 6 weeks of pregnancy remains on the books. On Wall Street, the Dow is up more than 1,300 points, NASDAQ 415 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
The next one.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
My husband's a retired cop, and I worked in a hospital for years. I'm going out right now because I'm getting ready to take my stance. It's just literally amazing. And, you know, you watch the TV articles and you go, yeah. Well, it's just 100% returnable if it doesn't work. I'm not kidding you. It's the most amazing product I've ever taken.
So I have a friend, Julia, who has taken Balance of Nature now for quite some time. And she said, oh, Becky, ask your doctor about taking Balance of Nature. So I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, oh, try it.
Celebrate this season with Black Friday savings all month long. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 50% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive Black Friday offer by using discount code.
You love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be.
If you're a local business and want to see what Salem Surround can do for you, Google Salem Surround Columbus. Remember to Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
From Steve Bannon and War Room Films comes the explosive movie, Government Gangsters. Donald Trump called it a must-see movie.
Government gangsters are the group of individuals, career bureaucrats installed by the deep state into every agency and department in the United States government.
I hear what you're saying, and I do see it differently because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite, who are hurting tonight. It differently because I'm thinking about the people because I hear what you're saying, and I do see it differently because
Government Gangsters is not just a film, it's a revelation that will forever alter your perception of government. Learn the truth about the deep state.
It is finally time for a straightforward assessment of the state of our nation.
The best Government Gangsters. Watch it now on salemnow.com. Salemnow.com. News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
Hey, don't forget to make 989theanswer.com your home for all things conservative talk from The Answer. Every podcast you could ever want, not just the Bruce Hooley Show, but Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, Seb Gorka, Charlie Kirk, Larry Elder, and the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show, and the other shows that we have on The Answer. You can find podcasts to all of them. The Discount Shopping Club is there under the More tab, then click Shopping. You'll save big. Sorry to tell you, you waited too long on that Temperature Pro furnace. It sold yesterday. You were like, I really wanted to grab that. Yeah, well, you snooze, you lose. It might come back. There are other deals in the Discount Shopping Club. You can find those at 989theanswer.com. You can also win tickets to Trans-Siberian Orchestra, December the 26th, Nationwide Arena. What a great way to celebrate after Christmas than to go to TSO at Nationwide. Free 10 pairs of tickets to give away. You can't win them unless you enter at 989theanswer.com. So I thought I would enjoy it more after it became apparent Donald Trump was going to win the election last night to flip over to CNN and MSNBC. Like my television remote, like almost to ask me out loud, are you sure you want to go down to those channels? Like we never visit those channels. I was like, hey, stop talking. Do what I tell you. But what I found was when I watched, it was just this stream of consciousness rants that made no sense. And there were parts of the misery that were enjoyable. Here, for instance, is a snippet of Van Jones, the guy who said that the 2016 Donald Trump victory was the result of a white lash. Here is Van Jones, pretty much in tears last night.
Because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite, who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to, and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they...
Okay, I got to stop it right there. Because Van Jones is saying that now African-American women have no hope. They have a lot of hurt because Kamala Harris lost the presidency, which this is eloquent racism, is what that is. That's eloquent racism. That Kamala Harris lost because she's black and because she's a woman. That is not why Kamala Harris lost. Kamala Harris lost because she is a bad candidate. Kamala Harris lost because she was inarticulate in her positions. She did not create a vision for America. If Kamala Harris, if I come to you yesterday and you spend a fair amount of time watching politics, and I said, if Kamala Harris is elected, what is she going to do if she's elected president? Would you have had an answer for me? You might have had one answer. Well, two answers. She's going to try to get abortion expanded everywhere. That's one. The other would be she's going to try to eliminate price gouging at the grocery store. Those are the only real two positions she took. What's she going to do on China? What's she going to do with Israel? What's she going to do with domestic energy? She for fracking? She against it? What is she going to? What's her economic policy? She's going to raise your taxes. That's the third thing. I give her credit for that. She's going to try to tax your unrealized capital gains before you realize them, which would crush the stock market. With Donald Trump, you know what he's going to close the border. He's going to project strength on the world stage. He's going to build up our mill. He's going to do all the stuff he did the first time. So Van Jones is wrong. She did not lose because she's black. Black women don't need to be depressed. He's demeaning black women with that answer. Because if Condi Rice ran for president, I mean, I don't know what her policies would be, but I'm very open to it. If Winsome Sears ran for president, I'm super open to that at some point in the future. Although J.D. Vance, talk about inside lane to being president of the United States. Ohio's own J.D. Vance certainly has it. So Van Jones is wrong. All right, so here we go. Could there have been anything more delicious, though, than MSNBC having to finally relent? By the way, they took Trump's victory speech last night after Fox had called Pennsylvania and Wisconsin for Trump because Trump's margin in those two states was greater than the number of outstanding votes. Now, man, maybe MSNBC didn't call it because they thought, well, how many votes can we concoct like we did in 2020? Did I just say that? I'm sorry. I retract those last 5 seconds, YouTube. Please don't ban me again. They refused to call Pennsylvania and Wisconsin when Trump was up there accepting it and when Fox had already called it. But eventually they had to admit that Kamala Harris had lost. And Jen Psaki, in a mammoth branding miss for Jen Psaki, made the announcement on MSNBC.
NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president. And for so many of you watching right now, that news is, to say the least, a lot to digest. I understand that personally. After he lost 4 years ago, he refused to accept the outcome. And
here we go.
Violent insurrection in our nation's capital.
Here we go with all the litany of things. Oh, he's terrible. He's mean. He's orange. He's bad.
Results, and he's run as a convicted felon.
Oh, we got that in. Yeah.
He has also promised to essentially be an authoritarian leader, to use power like no American president ever has before.
So you get a flavor. You get a flavor. You get a flavor. Now, see, what was the mammoth branding opportunity she missed there, class? It's right at the very beginning. She missed a mammoth branding opportunity. Listen closely. return to the White House, Jen Psaki. How do you miss that? Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, and he will circle back to the White House. Come on, Jen. You spent a long time building that brand. Don't desert it now. Jonathan Capehart in tears, almost, on MSNBC.
I mean, there's a shift right, and then there's a shift to Trump, and shifting to Trumpism. And, you know, I'm looking at a lot of things, especially after David talked about looking at counties and, you know, how Trump is gaining on what he did in 2020. And to me, I'm mystified in some ways, simply because we're talking about it twice impeached, 4 times indicted, convicted on 34 felony counts, former president. He's got that committed to memory. That's one bucket. Then in another bucket, you have all of the things he's been saying on the campaign trail. I am mystified that despite all of that, he's gaining support compared to 2020.
Now, an important question to ask yourself here, Jonathan Capehart, would be why? Why is he gaining support? I hope Jonathan Capehart asked that question. I hope the media at large asks that question, but I don't think they will. Do you remember in 2016 when Trump won? Of course you do. It was one of the great nights of your life, as it was mine. And what was the narrative after that? What was the narrative? Often, you heard it all the time. I don't know a single, from the left, I don't know a single Trump voter. I don't know a single one. Now he's 5 million up in the popular vote. If you don't know a single Trump voter, that's on you. That is totally on you. Now, what happened, CNN did a very interesting reaction analysis. They showed the entire United States of America, and John King stood at the board with Jake Tapper, and he said, here, look at these red dots on the map, Jake. These are counties in the United States where Donald Trump overperformed his showing in 2020 by 3 points or more. And there were 1,000 counties nationally, 1,000 counties nationally where Trump improved 3 points or more. And then John King brought up another map, a map of where Kamala Harris overperformed Joe Biden in 2020 by 3 points or more. Just 3 points or more. Any county, United States. The count for Trump overperformed from 2020, 1,000. Shall we eavesdrop on Jake Tapper's epiphany that John King shared with him?
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020. Holy smokes. There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Literally not one county. John King said, here, let this go away. They had like a portion of the map obscured on the eastern seaboard. And maybe if we pull that back, there'll be someplace in New York State. One place. I mean, after all the great job FEMA did in North Carolina, somebody, somewhere. No. What are we, a country of racists, misogynists? Is that why Van Jones, she didn't overperform Joe Biden anywhere? No, it's because the American people aren't stupid. At least the portion that voted for Trump aren't stupid. And they didn't fall for her act.
Cloudy warm this afternoon. Thunderstorm around the area. Look for a high of 71. Partly cloudy tonight, low 51. Sunny, pleasant, less humidity tomorrow, the high 64. Partly cloudy, cooler tomorrow night, low 39. Sunny, pleasant day Friday, the high at 64. Some sun and increasing cloudiness on Saturday. High Saturday afternoon at 61. Cloudy, mild, a couple of showers around on Sunday. The high at 65. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
We take this time to honor all of those who have given their lives in service to the United States of America and the families they left behind. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. This salute courtesy of Noble Automotive for the best in top quality work. Backed by over 30 years of experience in auto repair. Call 614-725-5708. 614-725-5708 or visit noble.com. That's Noble Automotive. On the air, saluting our troops.
Owning a home is a dream come true, but keeping it comfortable? Temperature Pro understands that your HVAC system is the heart of your home's comfort. When it needs attention, you deserve service that's fast, transparent, and reliable.
Thank you.
More than just a repair company, they're your home's partner, offering professional service that respects your space and your family. For routine maintenance or an unexpected breakdown, trust Temperature Pro to keep your home running smoothly with no surprises on pricing. Temperature Pro, your comfort is our promise.
Seth Polhouse brings hope and insight as he fights against socialism and communism on the Man in America podcast, now available on the Salem Podcast Network.
When you have taken an honest and an earnest journey to find the truth and to discover truth, you arrive at a point where you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that my worldview is pretty close to the good version of truth.
Subscribe to Man in America with Seth Polhouse on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
This year, I've given you so many reasons to try Balance of Nature, but I've got one now that you cannot ignore. Let's review some of the other reasons. First, with Balance of Nature, you get
a woman president, let alone states for any period of time, and experience to say that, you know, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it, who has experienced or to say that.
Special promo code.
There we go.
Black Friday
there we go.
All month long. Use my discount code MikeG and sign up as a new customer to get 50% off, free shipping, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. This is an unbelievable discount, but you got to use my discount code MikeG. Give them a call, 800-246-8751, and use the discount code MikeG or order online at balanceofnature.com. Use the discount code MikeG to get 50% off, plus a free fiber and spice supplement from Balance of Nature.
When it comes to safety, don't settle for anything less than the best. At Elite Fire Services, we protect what matters most, your business and your peace of mind. Our expert team provides top-notch fire safety inspections, and we service fire extinguishers, fire sprinkler systems, backflow preventers, fire alarms, kitchen hood suppression systems, and exit lighting. Visit EliteFire.org today to get a free quote and ensure your fire safety is in elite hands. Because when it comes to protection, you deserve the best. Elite Fire Services, your safety is our mission.
Has your child swallowed your medicine, your laundry detergent, your nail polish remover? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you inhaled paint thinner, glue, pesticides? Call the Poison Helpline. Have a question about a dose, a fume, something your kid just drank?
Call 911. Don't call a helpline.
Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals.
Call a doctor.
222-1222, anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, my friends at QC Kinetics can help a lot of people with arthritic pain. I don't know if they can help you if you have emotional pain. You have to talk yourself out of that one. If you are struggling today in the aftermath of the presidential election, well, again, QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative therapies, really good, taking care of your elbow, hip, knee, back, arthritis pain. Don't think it can help you, Democrats. Dig out of your disappointment. But if you want a scientifically based medical procedure that is not surgery, that is not tethering you to drugs, and who knows what those are doing to you long term, because there's always a push-pull with drugs, doing good things, but maybe doing some bad things to you too. Why not take advantage of your body's natural healing agents called platelets in your blood? Let the doctors at QC Kinetics consult with you free to see if the treatments can work for you. They don't accept everyone because you have to be an ideal patient for the procedure, and you can find out if you are by calling 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Now, I had two thoughts last night immediately as the mounting Trump victory began to take shape. Number one was, I can't wait to read the excerpts from the books that will be written about the Biden White House, just how senile and inept he was, and just how vapid and empty she was. Because I'm not going to write the book. I'm not going to help incentivize anybody from that side of the aisle. And I certainly wouldn't go to a book signing because, of course, it's never a smart idea to get too close to cannibals. But they are going to cannibalize each other. You can bet on that. And the blame game has already started inside Harris world. Who's going to take it in the shorts for Kamala Harris losing? Because, of course, it can't be her fault, right? On the Democratic side of the aisle, it can't be her fault because she's got too many check marks in the intersectionality column. Can't be her fault. Tim Walz. Oh, Tim. You are not going to fare well in the post-election assessment here. You college kids who kept Kamala from picking Josh Shapiro. You think the swing states, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, would have all gone for Trump if Josh Shapiro was on the ticket? Well, you can live in your own fantasy world if you want to. Now, she might bear some blame for not staking out positions or for crafting a lousy campaign message. Trump is old and addled. Trump is a fascist. Don't know. But the blame game's already started. Here's Joy Reid. Is she blaming Kamala Harris? What do you think?
You know, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it cannot have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color. Let's be clear.
There we go.
Nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run.
Flawlessly.
Now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign.
Really? It was?
Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed. You know,
wow, the Queen Latifah endorsement.
Every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swift, she had the Swifties, she had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time. And I think that's still true.
Ridiculous.
And I think
that's utterly ridiculous. Who has more impact on people? Like, the fact that the unions around the country, firefighters union, UAW, would not endorse her, loudly saying, we don't trust her. Or Queen Latifah? Taylor Swift? Oh, yeah, I know Taylor Swift's got a bazillion fans. How many of them can vote? A lot. How many of them can't? Also a lot. Okay? No real Americans who people pay attention to endorse Kamala Harris. What, Barack Obama lecturing black men? How did that work out? Flawless campaign. So, of course, not Kamala's fault. If it's not Kamala's fault, whose fault might it be? Oh, here's Kristen Welker of NBC to solve that mystery for us.
Well, and that's what makes the timing, I think, of President Biden's decision to step down after the debate something that, if she does in fact lose, will be under a microscope, because, of course, there was so much discussion, even over the summer, about potentially having an open primary and having that fight play out within the Democratic Party. So I think it's one of the big questions moving forward.
Joe, you stuck around too long. Grandpa, you wouldn't go home from Thanksgiving dinner or from, the June 27th debate and quit. Joe Biden barely walked, but he could hang on with his white knuckles for a couple weeks until he finally turned it over to Kamala. Now, I said I had two thoughts. One was to read the book excerpts when they cannibalize each other. The other one was praise the Lord. Can you imagine the party we're going to have on July the 4th, 2026, the 250th birthday of America? Can you imagine the apology tour we would have been on if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz had been in the White House? We would have been apologizing to indigenous people. We would have been repenting of our colonization. We'd have been talking about our inherent racism. The brave men and women who have died for the freedoms that we have in this country deserve the celebration in recognition of their sacrifice. I know it's Memorial Day, but it's also a part of the freedom and liberty of Independence Day, because we would not have independence without the people who have died to give it to us all the way back to the Revolutionary War. So I'm very, very thankful of that. Now, over on Fox, of course, they were making sense. Brit Hume and Brett Baier talking about what this election result says about America.
This is a realignment of the Republican Party. There is no doubt. We thought it in 2016. It is now fully implemented in the face of what was, to everybody's point, fascism, Hitler, Nazi, Madison Square Garden, a Puerto Rican comedian that they said was going to move the Puerto Rican vote around the country. This is a major realignment where people could look at all that mass media, all the media covering that one way, and say, I don't believe it. I do not believe that.
Well,
and I'm going to vote how I want to vote.
And we can go back a
100%.
number of years into all the false alarms, all the false stories were written about Trump while he was president, and date the beginning of this from back in that period in terms of the loss of credibility of mainstream media, loss of credibility for the people who were hurling around terms like Nazi and authoritarian and all the rest of it. The people in the end didn't buy it.
No, they didn't, which is why I'm gratified, because America's not as collectively stupid as I was afraid that it was. Now, the descent into the hellish reality that liberals are experiencing today began around 11 o'clock last night on NBC.
Right now, we want to go to Peter Alexander at Harris headquarters to really gauge the temperature in the room. Peter?
Well, we're outside and it's a loud one here, but I can tell you if you get into the crowd here, it's particularly quiet in terms of their sense of optimism right now. That's how one Harris ally just described
Quiet
it to me
sense of optimism.
a short time ago. I ran into a longtime Democratic source, a person who was close to the Harris campaign, and I asked them what they make of the results they've seen so far. They said, honestly, this is not looking so good for us, but then they quickly put on the smile and said, but you know what? We just got to keep smiling for the night. That may give you a better understanding of where they feel like things may be going right now. It remains early. A lot of votes still to count. But I'll tell you what I just heard from a Democratic lawmaker right now who just wrote me in part, quote, it's pretty concerning. I just keep reminding myself that 8 years ago, all the trends in the first few hours showed Hillary winning, and then she didn't. But obviously, this is not the return we were looking for.
No, it wasn't the return they were looking for. And you know that because later on, about, 12:45? Cedric Richmond, head of the Harris campaign, came out and told everybody that if they were waiting to hear from Kamala, they were not going to hear from her that night.
Votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the vice president tonight.
Still haven't heard from her. Still hasn't conceded. I don't know if she was sleeping it off. I don't know if she's just sleeping. Maybe Doug Emhoff could slap her awake. Oh, did I say that? Sorry. We'll get word from Kamala today, concocting her victory speech. Someone is at the time, because she certainly isn't smart enough to come up with it from whatever lies between those pretty little ears of hers.
Quick question. Did you know that the conservative news and talk content that you're currently enjoying on this station and online is supported by advertisers? Here's another one for you. And this one is for our business audience. Are you aware that our loyal listeners eagerly engage with our advertisers because they know that these advertisers share their values and care about our programming as much as they do? Listeners, tell your favorite businesses about us. And business owners, contact us today to create and implement strategies that drive people to connect and engage with you, helping you grow and experience the value of long-term loyal customers. Join with us today to continue spreading the good word.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall.
Thanks for joining me on my own social channels. Wow, it's a record audience. I really appreciate it. I wish I could broadcast hour number 2, but I can't. I'm going to go into local election stuff and Ohio stuff, and if you want to hear that, we'll have more national stuff too, of course. You can go to the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or the 989 The Answer Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching today. Hope you guys have a great day. And hey, celebrate if you're happy with the results, but be kind. You know, you can make little jokes to like-minded people, but let's not let's try to start taking the first step toward you don't compromise on logic, you don't compromise on reason, you don't compromise on truth, don't appease lies, but also, we can be respectful. So aside from my Doug Emhoff slapping her awake joke, sorry, that was in poor taste. I apologize. My worst angels get the better of me sometimes. See ya.